To be honest, I was disappointed that Atlus announced Metaphor Refantazio because I wanted a new Persona game. I mean, who wouldn't? Also, I feel like Metaphor's release was also not met with explosive cheer or hype when it came out in 2024. So, to my surprise, it actually received very well. It even got nominated for Game of the Year. I bought it on sale alongside Balatro, and I've been proven wrong back to back because I do not know what to expect, and now I'm reviewing it because of how it impacted me in my personal life and just how excellent the game is written. So let's begin. Let's talk about graphics since there isn't much to talk about. It's an Atlus game. Don't go expecting photorealistic graphics, but who cares honestly? The 2D cutscene is amazing, the world design is beautiful, the character design is great instead of morphing characters to appease the modern audience, and that's what matters. The game has style, from the menus to transitions to the battle animation. And here's another thing that I noticed. It's nice not to have to worry about specs requirement. I feel like I haven't sensed that for a while now before buying a game, and nonetheless, it's still an enjoyable game. I take this over any photorealistic soldering fest any day. Next up is gameplay. Since it's very familiar feel to Persona with minor changes like it's called archetypes inside of Persona, there is a positioning mechanic that doesn't really affect gameplay except for one archetype. There is now Synthesis attack that encourages planning for equipping archetypes before battles to allow a more powerful attack or buffs or debuffs. But other than that, it is a very similar feel with resist, repel to elemental attacks or physical attacks, and the game allows you to buy intels from informants in taverns, which the game informs you in your request or quest tab, which is very convenient. I feel like the most underrated feature the game has is the quality of life improvements that it has. It's so easy to keep track of which relationship that is able to level up and to know how many days before the deadline and where it takes place. And the ability to fight outside of turn-based is such a welcoming feature because they double down on Persona 5's insta-kill, which is so nice because it makes grinding less tedious, especially coming from Tartarus grind in Persona 3 Reload, which is just so mind-numbing. This reminds me of the dungeon design, again coming from Persona 3 Reload's Tartarus, which is just procedurally generated dungeon with just different aesthetics with no different layouts. The different dungeon has different puzzles and layout. It is infinitely more interesting because I remember Persona 4 Golden having to go back a few floors because I didn't know there was a puzzle to solve to progress through. It's just a product of its age. Why am I comparing it to Persona? Because it shows what they learn and improve upon from their past games to make the experience less grindy and tedious, which I can vouch behind if you are a Persona fan. And another thing, I feel like scheduling is much easier. I don't have to follow a guide to the T to max all my relationships, so I could enjoy the game as is without having to worry about missing something. I like that they took into account that we can do something during our travels so that you are not annoyed that you are wasting time in maxing your relationship or social stat. But just like anything in life, there are things that I do not like. The quests are too missable, which means achievements could be missed, which I did a lot. I got lost in a dungeon a few times, maybe a skill issue. The grind is less tedious to be fair, but it doesn't mean it's not grindy because there are so many archetypes that to get the achievement it is quite honestly mind-numbing as well. This is my personal gripe. I think there is too many ingredients to collect. Again, this is my preference. It feels too much. It does encourage exploration, but at the cost of traveling time that you could spend doing other things, especially how rare and expensive some ingredients are. It's just a minor inconvenience in achievement hunting. At least cooking doesn't take time after certain levels. So again, this is nitpicking. The gameplay is overall excellent. Don't fix what ain't broke, but you can certainly feel the improvements. Now for the highlight of the game, its story. I feel like I haven't played a game that is so well written, from the dialogue to the storytelling and its commentary on our real world. This game covers deep and difficult topics, and it is masterfully written without it feeling preachy, virtue signaling, or forced. All the characters feel real and empathetic towards even the antagonist. This game does not give you a direct answer of what is right and wrong. It's not black and white. It instead encourages you to think for yourself. The game's theme, I believe, are stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination, with anxiety tying it all up with a bow tie.
Okay. Are you kidding? That's unfair. She made those. I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
This game comments on our real world society problem and it's real. They don't sugarcoat it, they don't try to solve it, and it revolves around a fantasy book as a driving force for our protagonist to change the world by the end of the game. This fantasy book tells the story of how anyone can be whatever they want, leaders being held accountable, and people are judged by their actions regardless of age, race, and gender. And the irony of it all. If I speak anymore, it will be spoilers, but here's the thing. The game doesn't actually tell you the answer of what a utopia or a perfect society is like. Instead, it encourages everyone to do the right thing. Start with small changes. And when everyone is on board, change is inevitable. On an unrelated note, the voice acting for the English dub is amazing. I was so immersed with all the different accents from the UK, as it should, as the game takes place in the United Kingdom of Ukraine. I see what you did there. Even with all the seriousness of the story, the comedy in this game still lands and fits very well with the main cast. How come no one mentions about the dialogue writing in this game? It is hella underrated because nobody has mentioned it, how it immerses you through the dialogue, and how I learn new words because damn, some of these words I never heard before and yet it still makes sense. I don't know what they're doing in Atlus, but their localization team is on fire. And with that will be the video. This is an excellent game, and if you haven't bought it yet, go buy it. No hesitation, no questions asked, just buy it. Thank you for watching, and as for the next video, I don't know yet.